Study guide number 5, number 9. Write a word phrase for the algebraic expression 27t minus 2. Well, let's look at what it could be. Division is not involved here, so it can't be A. 2 less than t times 27. That sounds possibly because it's got subtraction and multiplication in it. The quotient, that's division. There is no division in it. 2 times the sum. Now that would be 2 times parentheses. So I kind of show you why that one's not correct. So we go back to this one. We're taking 2 away from something, and we're taking 2 away from t times 27, which we can commute that and write it 27t minus 2. Simplify 2z plus 9 minus z. So I'm going to go over here and write that as 2z plus 9 minus 1z plus 3. Well, when I put my like terms together, I have 2z minus 1z, which is 1z, and I have positive 9 plus 3, which is positive 12. When I go through my choices, I have z plus 12, which is the same thing as 1z plus 12, so it's C. The stem and leaf plot shows the scores on a math test. Find the median score on the math test. Well, median is the middle if there's an odd number, and you have to average the two middle if it's an even number. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 pieces of data. So we'll need to look at the two middle numbers. Well, our numbers are 51, 54, 62, 68. It's nice because they're already in order. 72, 72, 77, 78, 78, 84, 85, 86, 89, 90, 96, and 97. I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 numbers. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9. These are your two middle numbers. Well, the mean or the average of these two numbers, when you add them together and divide by 2, you're going to again get 78 when they're the same. So your median is 78. Now, if you recognize that you could have just counted them here and seen that these were the numbers, you could have just counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 78 was the 8th number, and 78 was the 9th number if you chose not to list them all. If you see that, that takes a little shortcut, but you want to make sure that you understand what the numbers are. Okay, 12 hundredths of 27 is what number? Is your equals. Of is multiplication, so we've got 0.12 or 12 hundredths times 27 equals our unknown, which we'll call x. So to solve for that, we need to take, and it doesn't matter which one you put on top, I'm going to put the 12 hundredths on top, times 27. It's just the commutative property. You can switch those around. 7 times 2 is 14, carry 1. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 1 is 8. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 1 is 2. So I get 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, carry 1. We get 3, but we have 2 decimal places. So x is equal to 3 and 24 hundredths. Number 13, I'm going to come over here and solve it. I've got 7 equals 1/5 x. I need to get rid of the 1/5. Now I can divide both sides by 1/5. I could change this to a decimal, but the easiest way to get rid of it is use that identity, the inverse property of multiplication, which is any number times its reciprocal, which would be 5 or 5 over 1. And if you multiply both sides by that, you'll get 35 is equal to, this will become 1x or just x. So number 13 is x equals 35. Number 14, I think I can solve that right here. I've got 3y equals negative 6. I'm going to divide both sides by 3 to get rid of the 3. And I get y is equal to negative 6 over 3, which is negative 2. Now this one's not too difficult to solve like it is, but I'm going to solve it like we've been doing it when we did fractions, equations with fractions. I'm going to get common denominators, so I'm going to take 3, 3, and 9 and get them all to 9. think I'm going to rewrite it over here. Let's come over here and do 1/3 A plus 1/3 equals 4/9. So if I want to get these to 9s, I've got to multiply them by 3/3. And this is already 9, so I'm going to multiply it by 1/1. And I get 3/9 A plus 3/9 equals 4/9. Now if we multiply everything on both sides by 9, then we'll eliminate all our denominators when we distribute that through, and we'll get our numerators 3A plus 3 equals 4. Subtract 1, you get 3A equals 1. Divide by, try that again. Subtract 3. I got ahead of myself. Subtract the 3, get 1. Divide both sides by 3 to get A by itself, and A is equal to 1/3. You could write that as 0.3 repeating, just as easy to leave it as 1/3. Number 23. I think we can solve that right there. We need to get A by itself. Let's subtract 4, and we get 6A is equal to 54. Divide by 6, and we'll get A is equal to 9. Number 23. I'm running out of room there, so I think I'll come over here and do that one. I need to get A by itself, so I'm going to add 1 to both sides. I get 7 equals -2A. Divide by -2. Got a couple of options. You can leave it as -7/2, or you can write it as -3 1/2, or you could write it as -3.5. And it really doesn't matter because they're all the same. To me, it's just as easy to leave it as the -7/2. Number 18, we need to get the m by itself, so let's get rid of the 3 first. And we get 3 is equal to -7m. Divide both sides by -7. And we get m is equal to -3/7. Now, if you try to divide that into a decimal, it's going to repeat 7 digits. And I don't think you want to write all those digits, 6 digits. It'll have a bar over all 6 and then repeat on the 7th digit. So I think you'd be happier just leaving it, because we don't say anything here about rounding it, so we don't want the decimal. If you do the decimal, you'd have to carry it out all the way. Number 19, I'm going to work it as we did in lesson 24. I'm going to get rid of the decimals. You can solve it with the decimals. It's just about as easy. So I'm going to come over here and do 0.3r plus 0.1 is equal to 4.3, or 4 3/10. Notice each one of them has tenths, tenths, tenths on it, so I'm going to multiply everything by 10 to get rid of my decimals. Now that's an option. Doesn't have to be worked that way, but it's just a little simpler. So you get 3r, multiplying by 10 moves the decimal plus 1 place, plus 1 is equal to 43. Moves it over 1 space. Now you can just subtract the 1. You get 3r is equal to 42. Divide by 3. And when you divide 3 into 42, it goes 1 time, it goes 4 times, so r is exactly 14. Now, I put the wrong lesson on this one. This is supposed to be lesson 25. The domain of a set is the first coordinates, or usually your x's, and the range is the set of y's. Now, when you talk about sets, you don't repeat numbers. So when I do domain, I'm going to say capital D, and I see a 3, a 3, a 5, a 6, and a 9. So I'm going to write the 3 one time. I've got a 5 and a 6 and a 9. And it just happened that those fell into order. And then the range is the set of y's. Again, it's a set. You don't repeat numbers. So you got 8, 2, and then there's a repeating 2, and 1, 1. So I've got 8, 2, and 1. And if you want to turn those around, you can write it as 1, 2, 8. It's fine. There's not very many numbers in the set, so that's just as easy.